Hi. Hello, guys. Good day and welcome to today on Princess Anu TV, guys. How are you all doing? It's nice like having you guys here today. So basically, guys, today we are going to be talking about another air crash, that's aviation aircraft accident investigation. So I kind of watched another one today, and like I said, we're going to be ending this episode on Saturday. Today is the episode 2 of this topic on discussing air crashes. So basically, we are going to be answering some questions. Like I said yesterday, there are some questions that was asked me on the comment section and things that you guys said I should talk about. So before we could finish yesterday, the time was actually out. So I'm going to be answering those questions here today. Then we'll go into talking about the air crash. Like, this particular situation was fire on board. Fire as at 33,000 feet. These guys were facing fire at 33,000 feet. Hi, Mayowa, welcome. You are the first to join me on today's live stream, and I super appreciate your presence. I think I should start giving giveaways, for goodness sake, for first people to come on the live stream. I think you guys actually deserve like a giveaway for every single live stream. Hi, Shegu! You're the second person to come on board. Welcome, guys. As everyone joins, if you join, don't forget to comment on your name as usual. I would like to see your name. Not only that, if you're new here and you've not subscribed, please do me that kind favor. Click on the subscribe button. Click on the subscribe button. It's somewhere around here. You're going to see like a red button. Click on that button so that you can subscribe. And also, basically, that notification bell is very important, because if you click on the notification bell, just like we said in live stream now, you'll be able to get notifications concerning any live stream that we are doing. So first of all, I'd like to answer these 3 questions here before we go into the main topic of today. Because in fact, this particular accident investigation, I don't know, I'm so eager to talk about it. Like, it was a situation. In fact, no, let me follow the protocol. Let me follow like the procedure. So guys, the first question I have here, which I wanted to start answering yesterday: can the duration of the training in NCAT to become a licensed commercial pilot license holder, hi Sahi, welcome, be shortened to less than 2 years? And this is what I want to say. As it concerns flight training, a lot of things come up, and can it actually be shortened to 2 years? Yes, if the management of the school works on it to make it shortened to less than 2 years. Hi Nathan, you're late today, but welcome on board. You're kind of like 3 minutes or 4 minutes late. Welcome. So guys, as I was saying, it's possible this timing of this timing basically of doing your commercial pilot license, and it's taking more than like 2 years or 3 years or so, it can actually be shortened. It just depends on the management of the school. If the management actually decides that they want to like focus their energy on the students, provide aircraft, make sure their instructors are always available, these things can work. But if basically they are not ready to like push for it, it will not work. So basically, I think it all depends on the management of the school. If they want it to work, it's going to work. If they don't want it to work, it's not going to work. Oh, yesterday, did you see Mentor Aviation app? I was in the live, yes, I was in their live stream yesterday, and I know he has an app, but I don't have the app yet. If you're asking about that, I don't have his app yet, but maybe later on in the future, I'm going to get that app. Like, you know, I always follow them. They are very intelligent and good senior colleagues that have gone so far, and it's very important. If you learn from your senior colleagues, it's faster, it's better, and it is more relatable. You understand, guys? So the second question I have here: can we directly fly an A320 after the multi-engine rating, or you need to get a rating for the A320? You need to get a rating for okay, basically, if you already have your multi-engine, you can fly any multi-engine aircraft in the category of the aircraft that you trained on. But now, if you're going to fly an A320, you will need to do a type rating on it. Yes, you have the multi-engine rating. It's a rating. You also need to do a type rating on the A320 to be able to fly it. So yes, you have your commercial pilot license straight out of flight school. You can fly any aircraft, basically multi-engine aircraft, but you need a rating on that aircraft. You actually need a rating on that aircraft. You can't just jump to any aircraft to go and start flying. You need a rating on that aircraft. Let me quickly read the comments here so that we know what's happening. Nathan, I was in the live stream today and it was amazing. You should get that. Oh really? I'm going to work on that. Actually, I was in the live stream there yesterday and I want to like keep on like adding resources. Like, you know, this time is very, very important. You need to like keep adding up and building yourself into like several ways. You just need to keep building yourself. So basically that's what I'm doing. I'm looking for ways to kind of like build myself. Okay, what will happen to aviation sector if the government says work from home? Yes, it's a pretty good advocate. Yeah, the truth is that I think my school even wants to start doing this work from home. Though I've not yet officially gotten a message from them, but I'm already hearing rumors of the fact that we'll have to do this work from home. Guys, sincerely, pilots cannot like work from home. But the truth is that we as pilots, we can not fly when people are not willing to fly. Despite the lockdown and everything, people are still flying. Hope you're aware of that. Yes, despite everybody stay at home and all that, people are actually flying. But now, if you want, the fear and everything is going to affect a lot of persons' minds because they are not sure of, okay, where am I going to fly? Okay, is this safe? Okay, will I get sick? And all that. But the truth is that we can only envisage and not know super what is going to like happen. We can only trust God that, Lord, please let this whole thing like die down so that we can get back. So I know that everybody, we're going to get back and it's going to be stronger and better. Maybe not so sudden, maybe not so now, but it's definitely going to work. So I'd like to answer the third question I have here concerning this flight school stuff. Are glass cockpit aircrafts the best for flight training? Are glass cockpit aircraft the best for flight training? Actually, flying the analog and flying the glass cockpit they are totally like not completely different, but the change is quite. Oh, sorry, Obo Wisdom, you're having network issues. Sorry about that. So personally, I think if you're transiting from flying an analog aircraft to coming to if you're flying for transiting from analog to coming to fly an FE/, that's the glass cockpit, it's going to be easier for you. Let me tell you the truth, it's going to be easier than coming from like flying a glass cockpit to analog. It's going to be like thick. You know why? When you're flying an analog aircraft that's not glass cockpit, you're seeing all the, like, you have to keep scanning. You scan here, you scan the airspeed indicator, altimeter, artificial horizon, you're scanning vertical speed indicator, you're scanning like every single thing. But now when you're flying the glass cockpit, every single thing is placed for you on one. You have everything on the airfield and you could just visually see your airspeed indicator is there, the artificial horizon is there, the vertical speed indicator is there, your speed readings are there, every single thing is on one. So it's it's kind of like easier to like fly the glass cockpit than it is to like fly the normal analog stuff. So, and things are getting better nowadays. Before they are like, okay, you must train in the analog, you must train analog. But now, training aircraft, even NCAT wants to go into like buying diamonds that actually have analog aircraft that actually have the analog stuff, the glass cockpit. As well as, you know, they are bringing in the DA40s. Is it the 40 or the 42? You are bringing in the DA40s very soon. And so the DA40 is basically a glass cockpit. So you will not need to like do so much scanning. You just have everything once. And so it's kind of like easy to fly. So now that we are done with this, let's go into the story time. Let's go straight into the story time actually. And guys, this story time, I'm going to be telling you basically what happened in a flight that, okay, now let's just put it like this. There was fire on board an aircraft, Swiss Air 111. Yeah, that's the name of the aircraft at that time. That's the number, and the company was Swiss Air. And so the number of the flight number then was Swiss Air 111. This accident actually occurred in 1988. 1988 or 1998, correction. It actually occurred in 1998, 2nd of 1998, September. And it was an issue whereby they were just moving not too long. They were moving from New York to Switzerland. So it was not like, oh, maybe a super long flight and all that. But the aircraft is an MD-11, and it's big aircraft, like very big. It was carrying up to like 229 people on board, including the crew and the pilots, the passengers, crew and pilots. So you basically had like 5 crew on, a bit 5, yeah, I think they had 12 crew on board, 2 pilots and 215 persons. So they were basically like 229 on board that aircraft. And that day it was night, like it was a night flight from around like 8 p.m. They were moving from New York to Switzerland, like a regular flight, which, and I'm not going to lie to you, when I did my night rating, I actually enjoyed the calmness of night flight. Like, you don't have to like disturb yourself too much over turbulence and all that at night. It's calm, like everything, you tend to like enjoy the flight more. I'm telling you, as a student pilot, when you go for your night rating, you get to discover that night flying is interesting. I'm going to say it's interesting. It's not that you're not going to have like all those bumpiness you have during the day, especially flying like a small aircraft. Then imagine them flying like a jumbo aircraft, a big aircraft. In fact, it was named Swiss Air 111 Heavy, because the aircraft was a jumbo aircraft. It was very, very big. And now, because of the technology, in fact, that was what caused the air crash. The technology on board that aircraft was so sophisticated that, you know, when you have like TV on the aircraft, it was a new modern aircraft they just produced. That's the Boeing just produced, and among the MD series and all that. And like everybody obviously wanted to board that kind of aircraft, that you have a good technology, you have everything on board the aircraft. But that technology actually caused a problem for that airline. It actually caused a problem for that aircraft, because what they could later discover at the end of the accident investigation and everything was that the wires connected to all these, the TV that people were watching, individual TV, game sets, like, in fact, they say on that aircraft you could do this betting, you could do online games, a lot of things connected, like in that aircraft. The wires, they got so hot, that was the wiring system and everything got so hot that it began to burn. And funny enough, you know what was happening? These things were not burning in the cabin of the aircraft. That's where the passengers actually sit. This whole event and trauma and everything was actually happening in the cockpit. So basically, the passengers did not even know what was going on. And that's why I say sometimes before you like enter an aircraft, you just have to like prepare yourself, like get everything close to your maker. Like, I know this is gonna sound like, oh my god, like so super old school, but sincerely, sometimes, because you never can tell. You know that there are seasons in an air crash where you see people praying. They're like, oh god, please let this thing not happen to us, blah blah, and all that. You actually see people, but what of in cases where you actually don't know what is even going on? That was what happened in that aircraft. They practically did not even know what was going on. So just the pilots, the first indication was that they began to see smoke. And that's one thing I want to tell you guys, even as aspiring pilots, as student pilots that are flying and all that. The moment you see an indication of smoke, there's fire somewhere. Do you know that adage that they always keep telling us, there's no smoke without fire? Guys, it is true. There's obviously no smoke without fire. It's either there was a spark, something happened, and you begin to see smoke, whatever. There is definitely no smoke without fire. And I got to confirm it again and again from that video, this accident investigation, fire on board. Imagine at 33,000 feet, these guys were cruising smoothly, not knowing that something was already burning. The first indication, the first officer actually saw a smoke on board the aircraft. Like, he saw smoke coming out from one of the vents, and to him, sometimes actually the AC actually brings out something that looks like a fume, smoke and all that. So personally, he felt that, okay, this thing is actually just a smoke. And they called on the cabin crew, please confirm if you have any smoke in the cabin and all that. And she confirmed and said that, no sir, no captain, actually there's no smoke in the cabin, blah blah blah. And so they said, okay, no problem. And so they concluded that it was an air condition issue, that the air conditioner was actually giving that issue and all that, not knowing that wires were already coming together, sparking, getting burnt. It was traveling from one wire to the other, one way. And you know, in aircraft conduction and all those things, they have to like put these wires together, pack them in a particular spot, so that you don't have like wires everywhere, even if these things are actually covered. So that was the first indication they had, smoke. And it wasn't serious at first, so they kind of like continued. When they discovered that this smoke was getting too much, the captain actually declared a pam. So normally when we declare a pam, it's not like a very urgent, it's not like a mayday. So this but the controller actually treated it in quotes as a mayday. So he kind of like called fire rescue, called everybody, the emergency crew and everything. They should go towards the runway area and like wait. And so during the course of like going, they had to obviously divert the flight. They could not get to Switzerland, so they had to like divert from New York, like on their way en route to New York. They had to like divert. I think they wanted to land in Halifax. They were actually thinking, okay, maybe they should go to Boston back, but they decided that no, they were going to go to Halifax. So on their way going to Halifax, obviously this aircraft has not flown the complete duration, so they had too much fuel on board. So okay, there was smoke still coming out. They declared pam, and now they had to like dump fuel. Another indication, they had to dump fuel, because obviously if you're going to land with more than the required, if you're going to land with more than the landing weight, the landing gears are obviously going to give way. That's one thing. If you land with too much weight, the landing gears will break, and there will be even more problem if there be, depending on how the pilot actually handles the situation. So they had to like dump fuel. During the process of dumping fuel, this fire on board the aircraft got terrible, guys. It got like extremely terrible. And the captain had to like, okay, they first started using the checklist, smoke in the cockpit, because there are checklists for these things, and for every time the checklist has to be like handy. That's something good. There should always be coordination in the cockpit. You know, there's something my instructors always say, coordinate yourself, girl, coordinate yourself. And sometimes when they are saying this, I usually laugh, but that's the truth, guys. I'm learning so much from these accident investigations, and that's why I'm trying to like share with you. This series is actually going to end on Saturday, so I would just like you to follow through, get some lessons from these stories that I'm telling you, because they are real life stories. It's not like maybe I cooked up a story, bringing it together. This thing happened in 1998, 2nd September. Go check it out. It actually happened. Swiss Air 111. Go check it out, guys. So during the course of like dumping fuel, like they had to like bring their checklist and started checking smoke in the cockpit, because that's what happens when you have an emergency. You have to like follow proper emergency procedures. You don't just think of what's in your head and just practically do it. That's something about flying. There's always a procedure. You're not supposed to actually invent your own procedure. No, these things have been tested. These things have actually been looked at, and so they bring it together to make sure that, okay, try this procedure, is definitely going to work. So let's continue, guys. Concerning that, he brought out his checklist and he began to use smoke in the cockpit. He tried the first one, okay, trying to troubleshoot what was the problem, and this smoke got so bad. He tried, I think, the first and the second checklist for smoke in the cockpit. So the captain basically stood up from the seats because they used their oxygen mask and discovered that the oxygen mask, no oxygen was even coming in from it because the line to the oxygen, the fire had already like cut it off. Now, autopilot started giving indications. Like, you know, when you pass a certain, depending on the airline actually, when you pass a certain height, most of the time they usually use 10,000 feet. You immediately engage autopilot. Some airlines, the moment you pass, I don't know, it depends on the airline anyways, always in their procedure manual and all that. You don't fly persons by hand, like by muzzle. That's what I mean. You don't fly persons by muzzle. So they had to engage autopilot. During the course of engaging autopilot, they discovered that autopilot was no longer working because obviously the fire on board has chopped off that line already. But obviously these things were happening behind the scene and they didn't know. So the captain actually stood up from his seat and he got the fire extinguisher and he began to like extinguish the fire. Before he knew what was happening, in fact, even the captain himself was engulfed by fire. The first officer had to declare a mayday, 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 Swiss Air 111, blah, said everything that concerns the mayday. There's fire on board and they are descending. He talked about their height and everything. But before you could know it, that was the last they actually communicated with the controller because the situation had gone out of hand. He had to think of flying the aircraft to see if it's possible, if they could actually get to an airport where they would land. But guys, that was an unfortunate situation, very, very unfortunate. The fatalities in that aircraft was the 250, no, what did I say 250? 229 persons. All the 229 persons were gone in that aircraft. Now, what lessons are we supposed to learn from this accident investigation and all that? First thing, we have to be very, very sensitive. As pilots, as student pilots, as upcoming aviators, we have to be super, super sensitive. If you see a smoke in the cockpit, it's not a time, especially as a student pilot. You know, you go on a solo flight and you see smoke and you're like, I beg, there's nothing much. I learned something, okay, for one of my colleagues. He actually went up. And I remember that day I was airborne. I think I was about to do a flight that would make them to like clear me solo. And we heard on the radio, Mayday, 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 and everyone was like, oh, what's going on? Actually, there was smoke in his own cockpit. Hi everybody, welcome on board. Nice having you here. Hope you've been enjoying my story time. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. It's very, very important. This is the episode 2 of lessons we are learning from accidents, aircraft accidents, air crashes, and whatever. So you have to be sensitive as a student pilot. You have to be super sensitive. You need to know, like, be sensitive to your environment. It's not a time, you know, sometimes as student pilots we are always tempted, like when we go solo, we want to like take pictures, we want to like do things, but be sensitive in your aircraft. Be super sensitive. Don't fall prey of, you see a small indication and you just feel okay, it's normal. I'm going to advise, if you take off, especially as a student pilot, and you see something wrong with the aircraft, please come back. It's better to be safe. When you're on ground, you can explain and say blah 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 happened, but when the person is gone, you cannot explain what happened. You're not even in the right position. In fact, what can you say that happened? But when you're alive, you are capable of explaining that, oh, see so that was happening, see this one that was happening, see that one that was happening. So I think that's something we should take note of. Number 2 that I learned from this accident investigation was be calm. I could see that the captain, despite that there was smoke in the cockpit during the delivery of his speech, and that's what personally I'm trying to like learn and I'm trying to like imbibe, because sometimes it's not easy. Imagine like 229 persons in your hands, and you can see that this aircraft is coming down. You can see that it's like you guys are not going to make it, but yet he's calm. Busting tar. This is Swiss Air 111. We are having fire in the cockpit. We are declaring a pamper at the time. Like, the guy was so calm. Guys, sometimes it's difficult to be calm in situations like this, but the truth is that that's part of why we are learning all these things. number one, be calm no matter the situation. Especially, these are qualities you will have to learn. I'm not going to lie to you. These are things you will have to learn. You need to be calm enough to be able to ascertain what's going on around you and face it. Not just facing it, be articulate about it. Know, okay, what can I do at this time? If it's for you to request help, request help. If it's for you to come back, start coming back. Don't form Superman. See, there's no Superman in flying. I'm telling you, there's no Superman. See, if you are alive, you can come and explain, blah blah. People can clap for you and say, well done. Some people will say, is it that small thing? Yes, so, but please be calm and come back. Another thing that I got to learn is about decision making. Decision making, like, is very, very important. The kind of decisions you make. If you're in that kind of situation, what's the kind of decision? In fact, I think that's some of the things they teach us, like in flight school. Like, okay, let me give you guys a very practical example. The day I was supposed to go for my progress check, that progress check was supposed to, like, after the progress check, I would do my check ride, my commercial pilot license check ride. And what happened that day was that the weather was kind of like foggy and hazy, like I see two of them together, like you can't really see. And they were actually reporting 3,000, I think 3,000 or 4,000 meters. That was what they were reporting. And I felt that, okay, this was what was going on around this area. It's going to, like, definitely get better if we take off and leave that area. And so I called my check pilot and I was like, sir, I'm ready for the flight. And he said, are you sure you're ready? I was like, yes, sir, I'm ready for the flight. He said, okay, let's go. And we entered into the cockpit after doing all the checks and everything. I even gave my briefing, my departure, no, what do they call that briefing? I gave, like, a welcome briefing, like, welcome on board, sir. This is a blah blah blah. This is a TB20. We are going to be doing blah 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 exercise. The aircraft has so amount of hours. I gave my briefing. And after giving my briefing, guys, I called the control tower to request. I called them to request startup. And I was like, good day, Zaria Tower. This is 5 November. I can't remember the name of the aircraft, but let's just use my call sign. And I'm just like, okay, this is 5 November, Alpha Delta Echo, request engine startup for so like Alpha Delta Echo and all that. And he was like, met reports reading 3,000, I think he said 3,000 or 4,000 meters that day. Confirmed you want to continue with flight. And bagam, that was the time. If I had said yes, I wanted to continue with that flight, I would have filled that check ride immediately. Like, forget, it's not about, most of the time it's not about flying. Decision making, especially in flight school, is one of the major things they look at. You can fill a check already because of the kind of decisions you make, I tell you. So you see, decision making, it's not just in the airlines you have to, like, make quality decisions. It starts from flight school. You will start making the quality decision for flight school, because if you don't get it then, you can't get it at that time now. Come on. It's like home training. You have to learn it at home. And I was like, okay, sir, I'll have to wait, sir. We are going to wait. When the visibility is a little bit better, I'll call you. And it was like, okay. Then when we entered, it was like, if I had actually done that, I would have failed. And obviously, he would not be wrong to have failed me, because that was poor decision making. In the commercial pilot phase, you can't be making rubbish decisions, because whatever decision you make, it's not just going to affect you. It's going to affect the passengers. It's going to affect every single person on board, and it's also going to affect you. So do you want to go and start killing people because you cannot just have a little bit patience to wait for the weather to clear for you to go? So basically, I learned decision making in this. And another thing I learned, which I think is something that is very, very important, we should all learn, is proper coordination. I could see the way the captain was, like, coordinating very well with his co-pilot. And this thing did not just have to do with friendship and all that. You know, when you fly with people, how you make them feel will actually determine if there will be that good rapport. And I've said it before, when you start going on, like, when you start going on cross-country flights with your colleagues, with your friends and all that, you get to discover that there are people that you will not just flow with. Like, what, you will not have anything to discuss with them because there is no rapport. You guys are not meeting anywhere. And sometimes, even when you fly with this kind of people, over wisdom, and sometimes maybe the captain will have to panic, will have a panic attack. The truth is that, and that kind of situation, the best thing for you to do is to just coordinate yourself and face it, because you're the captain. That's why they don't just give anybody captain. You can see some persons like they've been in an airline for like 10 years, 15 years, and they are not captains. And I see sometimes people on Instagram, they come and start asking questions. This person has been like this for how many years now? Wow, what's happening? It's not just anybody they give captain. There are some what do I call it, qualities. You might have your ATPL. Having your ATPL does not actually guarantee that you're going to become a captain. Not just anybody is giving that captain role. You need to actually prove that you can actually handle an aircraft no matter the kind of situation and bring it on board. I've seen a lot of female pilots actually talk about their process of becoming a captain, and sometimes when I see the things they say, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm sure they would never have thought about the fact that they would have become a captain in this situation. Sorry guys. One of the things that I've seen, most of the time they give them like an arranged problem. Let me use that word, an arranged problem. Maybe they fail something for them, they make sure something is not going very well with the aircraft, not basically with the aircraft, like something just goes wrong, and they want to see how they react to that situation. Not something that can go wrong to like kill people in quotes, but something just goes wrong, and they want to see how the person can like face that situation. And before you know, the next week they're like, we are going to be crowning you a captain today, and everybody's like ho 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 and all that. Not just anybody's giving that captain, because it needs proper coordination. Your mind has to be like put together. You need to not attach unnecessary unknown. Hi guys, so sorry for that break. Fashion Yega, welcome on board. It's nice having you here. This is the first time I'm seeing that name. Please, if you've not subscribed, do well to subscribe. Check around here. There's a red button around like here. Click on the subscribe button. So guys, as I was saying, most of the time, in fact, the captains are usually the strongest. Like when I watch all those videos, I see that the captains actually have like more mind than even the co-pilot, because the co-pilot knows that, okay, he can't make like every decision, and the captain's decision is the final decision in the cockpit. So they don't just give anybody like a captain and all that. So anybody you see actually that's a captain, I think you should respect that person so much, because it's not easy, guys. I'm telling you, it's not easy. The kind of training these guys face, the kind of situations they are faced with, if they say move, that's the final decision for that aircraft, and everybody's life is like on that person. So they kind of like have the final say in everything, and their decisions are not just supposed to be like joked with. You know, those kind of decisions we make, like up and down decisions, no, they don't just happen. So basically guys, that's it for this fire on board, and I hope you got a lot of lessons, just like the way I shared. I got a lot of lessons from it, and I'm going to advise you, if you want to become a pilot and you're waiting at home, especially during this lockdown period, I'm going to say get videos that talk about aviation. Join aviation communities, join aviation sites, come on board, come on YouTube, look for videos, look for things that actually will stir up your longing. You know what I mean? Like that will stir up your longing. Nan Shalom, welcome on board. This is the first time I'm seeing you here. Do well to click on the subscribe button, click on that bell too, so that you don't miss tomorrow's live stream. We are going to continue with episode 3 tomorrow. So if you've not watched episode 1, I'm going to be leaving the link here so that you can also watch it. So guys, if you have any questions, I'm going to be waiting as usual for 1 minute, just 1 minute. Ask your questions, let's discuss. If you have anything you think we should discuss about before we end today's live stream. And I'm happy like I was able to answer those 3 questions in the beginning part of this video. So if you're joining, there are some questions I actually answered in the beginning part of this video. You could check that out, replay the video, check that out. And if you're new here, welcome to the family. Okay guys, welcome to the family, and don't forget we do live streams every day by 5 to 6 p.m. Not 5 to 6 basically, but anytime within 5 to 6, I'm always like online discussing with you guys. Yeah, Nan Shalom, you came super late. But if you have any questions, I can take it. I can take any questions you have today. So just let me know if you have like any questions. I would like to know. Share with me guys. Share with me if you have any questions. Welcome guys. I can see more persons are joining, but it's quite late already for today's live stream. Okay, let me just quickly like look at this other questions that we have here. Okay, I'm thinking to shift to Canada. Will I get a job as a first officer in any airline in Canada? Sincerely, I talked to someone today and I got to discover that. I talked to someone today and I got to discover that the truth is things will definitely change, especially during this coronavirus period. Things will change, things will transform. A lot of things are going to change, and I actually heard there are a lot of flight schools too in Canada that want pilots. So if you train as a student pilot anywhere in the world, you can definitely get a job, either as a flight instructor, either, I don't know, I've not gone to the job market yet to look for a job. So some of these things I'm telling you might just be things I've heard. When I get there, I can give you like more concrete and more specific info. Until I graduate, I cannot like say this, that, and can only like give you some rough sketch of what I think. So basically, you will get a job if you finish as a flight student. Just be positive about it. I've said it. It's about positivity. It's about you thinking, how far can I go? What do I want to achieve? What do I want for myself? That's what I keep saying. Fashion Yeager, please, how does type rating look like? Do you guys have to do type rating on Boeing 737 or 747 while in flight school? Okay, if you can hear me, let me see a hi, because it seems like network has started misbehaving again. Just let me know if you can hear me or see me. Let me know. Let me just see like a hi or hi or something. So guys, I'm going to talk about that question you just asked, whether we do type ratings in flight school. Yes, we do the minor, I'm going to call it in quotes, the minor type ratings. We do the minor type ratings in flight school. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I'm happy that you said that hi, so I know you can hear me. We do the minor type ratings in flights. When I mean the minor type ratings, we do the type ratings for the aircraft which we are flying. Like we fly TB9, TB20, B58, Diamond, DA42, just the normal training aircrafts. Those are the aircrafts we actually do type rating on. But all these other bigger aircrafts, like you're talking about the Boeing 737, currently, that's what I mean, currently. And so we don't do them because you don't have like the aircraft. If you fly, we are going to like practicalize or something. So in flight school, you don't like have, you don't have them. We don't do those. The best thing is do your flight training. Okay guys, I'm happy you can hear me. The best thing is do your flight training first, then later you can think about the type rating, because it's about step by step. You can't like go to SS3 when you've not done GS1, GS2. So it's just like a step-by-step process. Now, our job opportunities actually guaranteed after flight school. If you've not watched the video, I'm going to leave a link up here for you to watch that video, because it's quite like up and down. There are guaranteed jobs for some certain kind of persons, and there are no guaranteed jobs for some certain kind of persons. I think you should check out that video Very, very important. If I start now, I'll have to be going over things I've said before over and over and over again. So it's very, very important, very, very vital. Okay guys, I think that's all for today's live stream. We're going to be continuing tomorrow. Don't come late. I can see a lot of persons have always been coming late. Please don't come late. You're going to see me here tomorrow from around 5. You're going to be seeing me here. Yeah. And super important. Don't forget, share these videos if you're encouraged. If you think it's something nice, share it with your friends, your loved ones. Click on the share button. Very, very vital. So guys, till we meet next time tomorrow, not next time, tomorrow. Don't forget, give this video a thumbs up. Very, very important. Bye guys, till we meet tomorrow. Bye guys.